is brand new. China escalating the ongoing trade war with the U.S.
Overnight, Beijing announcing a 125% tariff on U.S. imports. This is up from 84% duty that China announced on Wednesday.
So this has the White House clarified yesterday that the 20% fentanyl tariff will remain in effect, bringing the total tariff on China to 145%.
Yeah, we did some bad math early, but now this is the total.
China's finance ministry responding, saying, quote, even if the U.S. continues to impose higher tariffs, it will no longer make economic sense and will become a joke in the history of world economy.
All right, President Xi also saying today his country is not afraid. Their new 125% tariff rate on U.S. Goods kicks in tomorrow. And here we go. So no one's backing off.
Nope.
But the thing that obviously it's going to affect us. Got it. But when you realize how much China is hurting internally, their marketing, their housing market has collapsed. The stimulus money that they put in has not been effective. They have a youth unemployment rate where kids are going from college and they just don't want to work, not opportunities available, to the point where they're going back to the colleges saying, if your students, your graduates don't get jobs, we're coming after you. That's how desperate they are. And most of what they need now, since they're great at producing things, but they need us to consume their things. And if the prices become too high, America naturally will start giving the Heisman to Chinese goods.
I think this has become the national security issue of our time as well, Brian. They hack us like crazy. They steal like crazy. They knock off our products all the time. And you really can't compete at the end of the day with slave labor. We outlawed in this country for a reason, and now we essentially buy the products from a different country that does the same thing.
Right. We get a lot of computers, a lot of phones, a lot of toys from China. But the president says he's optimistic. This was good news. He said, we're very close to doing one of these trade deals. Listen.
So how close are you to the first country coming to actually make a deal with the United States over tariffs? Is it days, months?
Well, I think it's very close, but, we have to have a deal that we like. We don't want a deal that's going to be a bad deal, or I could make every deal in one day if I wanted to. I could do this all in one day. I could just say, here's what we'll do. And I was saying to the people before, to Scott, mostly to Scott and Howard, and some of the other people that work with us on the negotiations.
You wouldn't extend the pause?
Yeah. We'll have to see what happens at that time.
And they're saying a lot of things. They're coming after it. Their foreign minister, the Chinese foreign minister, says the U.S. is in defiance of global criticism, pitching itself against the rest of the world. Intimidation, threats, and blackmail are not the right way to engage China. Now, people have said that President Xi has come to power, held power, consolidated power, because he's known as a tough guy.
Right.
So that's his whole persona. I know it comes down to schoolyard politics, and we usually use that, keep that in the Middle East. Right. But we're seeing that now. So if you want to keep your population in check, you make him think that you're in control. What he says goes, and you're going to stand up to the behemoth, which is the U.S., which makes me think they're not going to take a step back, because that is their persona right now around the globe.
But people are going to suffer. And I love the way that the president talks about this. He always says, look, I got to be tough with China. I have to. But me and the president are friends. He's a tough negotiator. But I got to do what's best for my people. He's going to try to do what's best for his people. But all I want is fairness. I don't want to get into a war with China. I just want what's fair to the United States and what's fair for China as well.
Right. I don't think most Americans knew the deficit was so big between the two countries. And that's what he's saying. We're going to stop paying y'all so much money until you start paying us just as much. We have Jamieson Greer, the U.S. trade representative. You've seen him on TV.
Guest.
Yeah, he's big. He's going to be on at 7:30. He's the one that's been in front of the Senate and the House talking about all this.
Very smart.
And the cabinet met yesterday, and the cabinet members started to share their latest developments. It goes hand in hand with what you saw yesterday at the diner. Everyone was saying, I love that President Trump's doing this and this and this. And if you don't remember everything that he's done over the last 100+ days, here you go.
Within the next 24 hours, you're going to be seeing another huge arrest on a Tesla dealership, President. And that person will be looking at least 20 years in prison with no negotiations.
For the second month in a row, you have broken the record in the history of the nation for the lowest number of encounters at the border.
We anticipate savings in FY26 from reduction of waste and fraud by $150 billion. And and some of it is just absurd. Like people getting unemployment insurance who haven't been born yet.
I've had over 100 people working around the clock to scan the paper around RFK, Senator Robert F. Kennedy's assassination, as well as Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination.
By September, we will know what has caused the autism epidemic, and we'll be able to eliminate those exposures.
That's incredible. I said
Think about that
100 days.
last line.
It'll be
What?
100 days on April 29th. That last line, we're going to figure out by September what has caused this autism epidemic. We'll be able to know or tell America by then.
Well, I mean, that's huge promises. No backing off that deadline. Right. One thing is, they did update us. This is what President Trump wants to do. It's your government. I'm going to let you see what's happening. It went on for over an hour. There's no better programming in the country than when President Trump gets his cabinet members together or when he has these meetings, whether it's gun control or anything else. Bring the cameras in. You'll see it in real time. I have you bring the governors in. Leave the cameras on. Let the governors ask me questions. Same thing with
Right,
mayors.
the transparency in this administration is just unmatched. I mean, he wants the American public to see everything. And this is not a ceremonial cabinet. They're working, and they're telling the American people what they're doing. You can criticize them all day. You may not like them personally, whatever the Democrats want to throw at them. But they ran on an agenda, the president did. He selected a cabinet. They debate each other, but they're not backbiting, they're not stabbing each other in the back. They're duking it out in private and giving the American people what they voted for.
Yeah, I would just add a couple of things. It looks like, again, Taiwan, Japan, South Korea have all talked about different things they're going to do. I think we're going to start seeing deals being done. Scott Bessent kind of talks about that. It's overwhelming to have 70 countries call you. But the other thing I see is Amazon comes out, and Amazon's CEO warns Americans, cheap prices on everyday goods could be a thing of the past. Okay, fine. You know why? Because 75% of all your material, everything you have on your website is China. And we don't even know it, doesn't say it. A lot of them are knockoffs. You don't police it. You just put it out there and say the American people aren't complaining. You know who's complaining? The entrepreneurs. I was talking to Artie Lee, the creator of LifeVac. He says that he finds out, he pioneers this, he gets a patent, spends all this money, gets all his clearances. He gets up in the morning and China knocked off his product, and it looks exactly like his on Amazon listed right next to it. He goes to our trade representative. They go, yeah, we have this problem all the time, but they don't listen to our court decisions. They don't listen to our court. How long are we going to put up with this? This thing is fundamentally, no matter what the rate is, we're built to lose this. Europe is built to lose this battle. How much longer are we going to be punching bags?
It's not fair.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.